What is going on? Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat. I'm your host, Pimpy. Look, is Iraq heading for civil war? Is civil war looming over there in Iraq? Let's take a look, man, because there's some interesting things that seem to be panning out over there, and let's just kind of review that. But real quick, once again, as a reminder, in Pimpy's Investment Chat, it's the same as my YouTube channel. I have on Facebook. There is a link in the description. I encourage you guys to follow it. And for those of you who are interested in cryptocurrencies, there's a link to Coinbase in which you can get $10 free just for signing up. And in addition to that, if you go down to where it says earn free cryptos, you can get over $100 more worth of free cryptos just for joining up. It's worth at least taking a look at. Okay, I just thought I would show you this. This coin's really beautiful. I know we talked about coins earlier. Remember I was talking about low mintages? Well, look at this there's only 388 of these coins made in the world. This is for $1,945, but I just wanted to show you the beauty of it. I don't know why, I just wanted to share that with you. It just looks gorgeous. Having said that, let's go real quick over here to what's going on in cryptocurrencies. As I was talking about earlier, they are still creeping up. When I was buying more XRP, they were around the 13-cent mark. Then they got around the 15-cent mark, and now they're around the 18-cent mark. This is good. Still affordable. It's still increasing. There's a couple articles talking about Bitcoin is making a move. It did a huge purchase and made a huge move, and they're getting ready to do some kind of business. I didn't get all the details. I just heard part of it, and I wanted to go back to it later on. But like I said, Bitcoin halving is coming up in May, and it can't stay down around the $6,800 mark. It's impossible. They have to get up there in order for it to be feasible for miners. So I'm looking to see them slowly but surely creep on up. So now's the time, more than ever, to go ahead and invest into cryptocurrencies. All right, the link is in the description. Okay. Shout out to Mike. Mike sent this to me, and this is an interesting article, by the way. Look, China don't care if there's a huge difference between China and the United States. China don't care if its citizens are dying or not. It really don't. It was forcing them back to work when the Wuhan China virus was at its peak. Okay, they don't care. They wanted to send people back. Unlike here in the United States, where we are on lockdown and have been for some time. Okay, so while our economy is dead in the water, China is making a move. Now, they're telling us that they've whipped the Wuhan virus is what they're claiming, but God only knows. All I know is that it is mandatory for Chinese citizens to have a cell phone. Kind of like when Obama tried to give everybody a cell phone from the Obama cell phones. But anyways, China, it's mandatory. And what they do is they track all their citizens via the cell phone. So that's why it's mandatory for every person in China to have a cell phone. But for some strange reason, last month, 21 million Chinese citizens canceled their subscriptions. Let that sink in. So nonetheless, anyways, here's what's going on. While we're dead in the water, China continues to position themselves around the world strategically to literally take over the world. They want to do it economically, through trade, through military. They want to be the world leader. And not just that, they want to control the world. Reminds me a lot of Germany. Okay, so this is what's going on out there. This article talks about how they just are going into an agreement in Iraq out there in their super giant oil field. That's known as the Majnoon. Okay, and there's so much oil there that people do not have an idea of how much oil is there. They're only guessing. They know there is trillions of dollars worth of oil in this oil field, and it's mostly untapped. China is making a move through a very little known, which is really slick. So, although the U.S. on the radar, they keep track of the bigger oil companies, what they're doing. So what China decided to do was use the little or lesser known oil companies to make deals like this. Okay, so Russia's trying to do the same thing too. I told you Iraq is literally the mecca of the trade and oil world. Whoever can get in there and control China, or not China, that'd be nice. Iraq is going to control a lot of what happens in the Middle East, and not just in Iraq, but in the oil world. Okay, so if China gets in there, they are forcing countries to allow them to put in military ports in the most key ports around each of these countries. And what that does is it could interrupt the trade routes. We know that they have invited Iraq to join their One Belt initiative. I don't know if they have officially joined or not, but that is a move. That's not going to happen. Trump is not going to let it happen. So meanwhile, while we're here in America fighting the Wuhan virus, and we are literally in isolation, lockdown in our houses, China don't care. They're continuing to make huge moves. All right. So look, Trump don't want to crash the economy. He isn't telling people to go to work because he doesn't care about people. But he also is very astute to the fact that, hey, we can't just stop working. The country will collapse. He doesn't want that to happen. Okay. So they can try to make this a political thing all they want. Oh man, I love how the Democrats, to be opposite of Trump, when Trump was banning travel back and forth from China, the Democrats are telling people to get out there and party. There are news clips of this. They were encouraging social gathering. And now they're blaming Trump for those social gatherings and the high levels of infected by the coronavirus. You got to love that. All right. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. They just want to do whatever it takes to just really paint a negative picture of Trump. I bring that up because this is important. Trump's right. We need to get back to work. There's a way to deal with this virus without throwing everybody in 100% isolation. There really is. Okay, as a matter of fact, now 6,000 doctors from around the world have come forward and said yes. And we're talking about people in France, Italy, China, you name it. They're everywhere, have come out and said, look, the medicine that Trump was talking about has shown to be extremely effective. In some countries, 100% of the patients that have taken the medicine, which is a hydrochloroform or whatever that is, taking that medicine, they have been cured 100%. So, for whatever reason, it's being opposed here in the United States, obviously, because the more people get sick and the more people that die, the more you could point fingers at Trump and go, it's his fault in an election year. So if I was Trump, I would just make it mandatory. Although there's governors, and they all happen to be from the same political party, we won't mention their names, even though the Democrats do that, that they are trying to outlaw that very medicine that could save people's lives. Okay, so the point is this. While we're sitting here in isolations and our economy is at a dead stop, China don't care. They are out there doing what they can to take over the world. This article literally says they are trying to take over the world. Literally says that. So I'll leave a link to this, but you can see they are making a huge deal with Iraq to get into their supergiant oil field known as the Majnoon. Okay, they're trying to get in there, and it looks like this deal is going to be done. Not only that, they're locking into long-term contracts for this oil production in which they could get a premium for the oil that they're able to drill out of the ground. This is a long article. It is really worth reading. You can see where China is heading. Now, how does this affect Iraq and our dinar situation? Well, obviously, the more outside investors that come into Iraq to do business, the more money they bring in there, the more they're able to hire Iraqi people, the more that helps their economy. So this is both good and bad for us. Okay, what else is going on? Well, this is interesting because the Peace Brigade and the Hezbollah were absent during a statement that was made. So, of course, the 8 factions began their statement threatening the American forces with operations larger than their predecessors. They don't got it. They don't have what it takes. Iraq, militarily wise, is almost decimated. What are they going to do? Use slingshots? No. They can't. The forces that are made up mostly of the Iraqi forces have been working side by side with American forces to stomp out different locations of ISIS. But that doesn't keep these Iranian-backed factions from at least making threats. Okay? And that's who these people are. They don't like the appointment of Zarfi, and they're fighting him at every turn, claiming it's unconstitutional. But anyways, when Zarfi pushed for the fact that he wanted a session next week to get the support of his government that he is appointed, there is a group of them, and they just magically all happen to be Iranian-backed, are fighting this appointment. They don't want this to happen, and now they're making threats. Again, I'll leave a link for this, but you could go on here. It's not that long of a report, but you could just see, look, We knew that this was going to happen. What you have is a bunch of Iranian-backed politicians fighting against those individuals who won't push the Iranian-backed agenda. We're looking close to a civil war here. We are literally teetering. How we're teetering ourselves in our country. It's pretty close. But I can imagine it's over there even closer. Zarfi is an American Iraqi citizen. He is supported by Trump. So is his picked government. All right. This is a problem for Iran because this puts America at their doorstep. All right. So this shouldn't be surprising that we are teetering on the brink of a civil war. And so my feeling is this. I understand that a lot of us are invested in the Iraqi dinar. I get that. We want the Iraqi dinar rate to change because a lot of us have been waiting a long time for this event to happen. But without the stability in that country, I'm finding it a little hard to believe that this rate change is going to happen. Especially if the Iranian-backed politician and militia are there. They'll just do anything, everything they can to interfere. You got to understand that the IMF and the World Bank are behind pulling the trigger on this rate change. All right. So if they can't find stability in Iraq, we're not going to get what we're looking for. But more importantly than all this are the Iraqi people. Okay. Now, I realize that there's some of you out there who really don't care, but I do. All right. And that is, I really would like for one of the richest nations in the world to finally get their ducks in a row and focus on what matters most. And that is their own people. All right. Stop pushing the agenda of Iran and focus on Iraq. Okay. Let's hope that that happens. Anyways, here we go. After threatening to hit the Americans close to the chest attacks, resistant forces. So Mohammed al-Iraqi, which is unique. Can you imagine having the same last name as your country? Okay, a close associate of Sadr movement leader attacked the Iraqi resistant factions on Saturday, considering that they are providing the contractor with the resistance. Okay, so what's happening is this. And the Iraqis sent a tweet, know that many politicians and some of the so-called factions of resistance do not preach from the scourge and the epidemic and are still waiting for their gains. So all they care about is the money. They were just worried about the corruption is what they're talking about. So anyways, what happened is there was a gathering of resistance against Zarfi, but there was a notable group of people missing from that vote, missing from the resistance, and they happen to be from Hezbollah. And why? God only knows. That is very interesting. But anyways, 8 of the factions decided to go ahead and make threats against this guy's appointment. They're, threatening to not approve or vote in his favor. But there is a group of people we thought for sure would resist this appointment, have seemed to some reason or another magically disappeared from the resistance. And this is causing some concerns over there against the Iranian-backed group of people. There might be some type of agreement that was struck that we are unaware of. I said this before and I said it again. I'm feeling really good that Zarfi is going to get his appointment. He will be the PM. He's going to get his cabinet members in there. He's going to establish his government. All right. And he is going to do what we need him to do. Okay, so we'll see. But if he does make it in there, don't be surprised if they don't go to civil war. All right? Iran is not going to lightly walk away from this. They fought really hard to put these proxy groups in there, and they put Obama's money to use as much as possible. I can just feel all the liberals and Democrats' heads blown up right now. Sorry. Anyways, so a lot of these articles, as you go through here, all they're talking about right now is what I'm talking about. And that is there seems to be a civil war brewing up in Iraq. The more Zarfi moves forward, the more the Iranian-backed militia and politicians are starting to really fight back. Now, I think the real key to a lot of this is going to be the Kurds. Now, they have one of the largest but unfortunate Iranian-backed groups in parliament, but they seem to be trying to strike a deal with Zarfi. So let's see what happens. So the point of this is this: the more I read these articles, the more apparent it looks like they're heading possibly to civil war. All right, there's a lot of threats going on. We know that Trump has a new approach to Iraq. That is, they want them to put the big boy pants on. They want to kick the training wheels off, and they want them to start doing away with these Iran-backed militia groups. As a matter of fact, to the point now that Trump has put together a task force to go in there and start removing them. So the more we put the choke on Iran economically and remove them out of these countries, the less power they have. So this is a huge threat. So anyways, like I was saying, look, there's a part of me that says, yeah, let's have this civil war and let's push for the right people to win. The people that are there for the Iraqi people, not the people there for the Iranians. All right? As far as the currency is concerned, as far as the dinar is concerned, it's going to happen sooner or later. I know a lot of us want it to happen very soon, and that's still a high probability, but I'm saying this, I don't have any problem personally myself if we can get in there and just remove the Iranian-backed people and allow the Iraqi people to really thrive. If they thrive, all that does is build a stronger economy, which allows the value of my Iraqi dinar to increase. So although a rate change, I might go in there and change in some of it, I won't change all of it, depending on the amount of the rate. Because to be quite honest with you, I anticipate Iraq to really grow and to be who we think they should be. All right. And that is one of the wealthiest nations in the world. If you agree with me, hit the thumbs up button. I know this is not exactly the greatest news in the world, but it looks like Iraq is heading at this point to a civil war. It just really starting to look that way. All right. Okay. Let me know what you think.